Alrighty, for anyone tuning in early during a replay, please consider subscribing if you're not already subscribed. Certainly like and subscribe while you're at it. I'm just getting some things sorted out because, wanted to organize my OBS setup just a little bit. Try to get, certain things on screen, but I think we're basically in good shape now. So I'm going to just clean up my browser and we're going to see what happens when I open up Kerbal Space Program, and in which case I better close my editing software and we're gonna open up GOG Games because this is where I have my Kerbal Space Program installation. And we're on an ultra wide monitor, so we're gonna, expand the widescreen a little bit. Now, sometimes I play this game in full screen mode. Other times I play it in okay, no, I'm just checking out the sale prices. Sometimes I play the game in not so widescreen, so I'm not sure if I'm gonna play it in a window, but let's just see what happens when I open up the game. Hey Google, volume up. Sometimes when you want to play a game like this while multitasking, you can run it in a windowed mode. And typically it would look more like this, we wouldn't have the letterbox at the bottom. Hey Google, volume up. So give that a few minutes to load. It doesn't take terribly long, but first time I'm opening, I actually nuked the installation, completely uninstalled it and reinstalled it. And I did that because I wanted to iron out some minor issues I was having. And so if I want to, what I would probably do is put it in windowed mode, zoomed in a little bit so that people who are tuning in can see it. But let's see what resolution we can utilize here. So I'm on a 2560 by 1080 ultra wide monitor. So maybe I crank it down to try that out. Now, problem is then the bottom of the window gets a little obfuscated. But the next setting below that is 1600 by 1024. And actually that is close enough, but we're still cropping the bottom of the app window a little bit, So that is a little bit of an inconvenience. And 1600 by 900 is just like, now it's like overkill. Now it's like, I have a little tiny window. This is like no fun here. This is the point where I would go to some website to get a nice little gaming layout, like when people would do those fancy, a lot of channels have it, like Blaine's Escape Corner, you got fancy graphics on his stuff, So, we do something like that maybe. But for this one, I'm just going to leave. Yeah, I'm going to just leave it like that. Yeah, we're going to try that out. And it says frame limit 120. We're going to limit to 60 frames a second. My monitor is potentially capable of 200 hertz, but I think it's a marketing lie. Okay, so I'm just opening up the YouTube chat so I can see messages when they come in without struggling to look for them, because sometimes I miss the messages, you know? So I have it up on my window. I could put it on the left side of my window here. And whether I look at my right monitor or I look over here on my left side panel, I'll be able to see the YouTube chat so I don't miss anybody's messages. I could also do this. I can also shrink my taskbar. Ooh, why is that window so tiny? There we go. And so you can say use small taskbar buttons. You can see how the whole taskbar just shrinked. I stopped using the small taskbar because, you know, I mean, I'm on a bigger monitor, so I didn't think it was needed. But now, for KSP, it might come in handy because now we can see the bottom of the window. Now we have the whole window on the screen. So we're going to stick with that right here. And, you know, we can tweak these settings later. We can crank them up. I would probably crank the settings up in accordance with what my task manager says here. So if I felt there's a little bit more headroom, my biggest concern is, well, I still have some headroom on the video RAM. So let's roll with it here. I don't think there's a recommended settings button here. You know, that would be cool if you had a recommended settings button. And it's not so much the graphics that's the issue with this game. It's when you start getting into like really complex spacecraft. You end up with like an enormous part count. And you know, what I want to know is like, well, what is the current way of handling mods? Because it's no fun playing without mods when you're in sandbox mode. Sandbox. S1. Making up names here. I don't really care if any of this is, you know. That's cool. It looks like the MCRN flag. You know, from the Expanse. They got a lot of new logos here too, like Rocket Lab, Electron. Okay, so we're just doing a basic sandbox. First time I'm reinstalling this fresh. And so you got some preloaded rockets, I believe, and I'm hoping good. None of my downloads are here. I don't know why Steam is here. Wait, that's interesting. Can I do that? Can I do that? So I don't have KSP installed in Steam, but I may have added it to my Steam library manually. And if I did, that might be why it's showing the thing. So what I would want to do is, well, maybe I have to rename this or reconfigure this a certain way. But the only thing is, like, I think when this comes out on Steam, when the sequel comes out in Steam, I'm gonna totally buy it on Steam because you got the Steam Workshop, which like really makes mod installation really easy when you don't want to deal with a lot of BS. There are advantages to, you know, different methods. Hell, I'm thinking about still buying the game here. Like, look, $10. The only issue is that then you got to buy the expansions, and you're gonna be spending a bit more. You're gonna be spending like technically, oh, complete. So for $20, I can get the whole game in Steam. So I'm seriously thinking about it because getting GOG on a Steam Deck, it's doable, but you got to jump through a few more hoops. It's a bit of a pain in the butt, you know? This game looks like it's cool, but they say RPG and stuff, so I'll put it on my wish list. And I want to support GOG games, but they kind of had a bit of an identity crisis, so I'm on the fence with them. But can we get mods through GOG? Let's see if we can do KSP mods GOG. Okay, so there is a mod manager from June. And there's a download available, and I presume I don't need to actually compile this source code for something like this because I'm not really interested. So KSP 1.8 to 1.12, and I believe somewhere in the corner of the screen it's supposed to tell me what version of this application I'm running, which of course my luck. Huh? Oh, it's GOG 2. Whatever. My game is, what version is my game? 1.12. 1.12.x. All right, good, good. So I'm going to go ahead and download a zip file and a .dll file. And at my leisure, I will follow these instructions. So I assume that you would go and open up Notepad, drag and drop the README file. What? They don't want me to read the README file now. There we go. It's not an original mod manager code. Do not bother about problems with the code dependencies. If you're running Linux, well, I'm not running Linux. I'm running Windows. Did I just download something that doesn't work in Windows? No, I downloaded a DLL file, so it does work in Windows. You just put the DLL files in your KSP. All right, so I think it's where is that? I think it's on F colon where the E colon bash pro GOG games Kerbal space program game data. I don't see a patch.cfg file. I see the module manager and a DLL file. So where is this CFG file? Because I am not here to write a whole freaking script. This is why. Okay, so good. You can now override specific lines. Okay, well, I just want the basic baseline config file. I'm not looking to rewrite the application. Right, whatever. This mod manager is probably not the mod manager for me. Oh, I think this is when you're downloading individual mods. That would make more sense. So actually, if I go into a specific directory, so actually, I don't have to worry about this part right now. Okay, good. So once again, from the top, I'm just reading some directions, and the directions say You can put your CFG files in the directory in the area here, but you should probably put them in subdirectories. I would agree about that. So once again, it's saying put it in your KSP game data folder. So I'll do that. Now I'll have to reboot the application before this will take effect. And then you would download your mods. You would download, you go to a site like, they got a lot of sites. They got a site called CurseForge. You got another site called Space Dock. You got another site I used to go to called Kerbal X. I don't know if that's still a website, but yeah. So we'll go through some mods in a little while. I want to keep it real simple, like maybe download a cool rocket. Now let's see what we have preloaded, and then we'll see what we can download, right? And getting back to my download folder, I remember there's that one DLL file, so that must be the module manager. And if I understand correctly, I could just, well, apparently I downloaded it twice. So that's 4.22. They're both the same file. I don't know why this was a separate download. Okay. So once again, we got some preloaded rockets here. Some of them are really rudimentary, but the reason I reinstalled this is because I had a lot of junk in here, like that wouldn't load, that you couldn't do anything with, you just couldn't use them. So now we can, use any one of these rockets. We can combine craft together. Now this one's like obviously a simplified version of a Soyuz rocket. It's got the weird booster attachments on it. Some, pusher motors or what have you. Well, let's try it out. Let's test out the performance with a simple craft while I look for some mods. For example, I'd want to download a Falcon 9. And, well, that's interesting. Not a lot of downloads came up on this site when I typed in Kerbalized SpaceX. And I think we need a space shuttle. We definitely need a space shuttle. And maybe a space plane. Oh, that is so cool. I'm looking at some sick downloads right here. I should show you my downloads, shouldn't I? So, what you see here, we got a SLS, or, what is it called? Artemis rocket, basically, a part of the Artemis program. We got the STS. We got we do have an Enterprise NX-01 style ship, but there are some caveats to that. Typically, some of the more exotic stuff is going to require a crap ton of dependencies. So usually when you download a mod, it'll tell you like what is required. So you need module manager, which I've already downloaded, and you need all of these must-have items. So these don't come with it. You got to like literally chase these down. Sometimes you'll download a cool ship and you'll forget to download the dependency, and then you have to chase down all the separate bits. So in fact, I already did. I downloaded a couple of craft. I might have already registered with these people. So you got this beautiful description, and somewhere in the bottom it's going to be like what you need in order for this to work. So you got to be what we call dependencies or what. And if you don't see that information at the time of download, it'll usually hit you in the face when you try to, build it. So, I mean, it doesn't look like it has any requirements unless I'm overlooking something. So we'll download this one. This one has to have some required stuff. The Phoenix Warp Ship is now playable. Ooh. Okay, so we're gonna have a standalone warp drive mod. Oh, that seems a little interesting. At least 2 parts to operate. So there are 2 additional requirements for the warp drive to work, or you got to put 2 parts together. So I'll investigate that. So that's the thing. You're downloading the craft, and certain craft have parts that don't come with the game, and some mods are outdated. So you got to be careful with the outdated mods. Now, let's see. I was on Space Dock. If we go to Curse Forge, maybe I find a better space shuttle. Okay, so that's our space shuttle. Looks like a proper space shuttle. Supposedly there are no dependencies required for this craft, which I don't believe it, but we're going to install this one first after we Okay, so how does this work? Really simple. We do our panning. Oh, I gotta turn on the audio. There we go. It's like fancy jazz music in this game. Alright, so like usually you can throttle. Lower the volume a bit. And you can control it a lot of ways, but one of the ways you can do is use your keyboard just to like kind of vector it. Now typically you wait till you're going 100 meters a second and then you tilt your craft. Something like this. The nav ball has all kinds of extra controls in it. This craft looks like it's, oh, you know what I forgot? Gotta turn on SAS. Now, I don't know if I'm turning it on too soon. This is basically what keeps everything on target so it doesn't get too wobbly. We have a little dynamic, max dynamic pressure encounter here. In fact, that's a little severe. I feel like the craft is going to burn out. We eject our boosters. This is not necessarily an ideal launch. If we go to the map, we can see our, trajectory. So I think I'm launching here. And this is my ballistic trajectory. So my aphelion, or whatever they call it, is up there. Aphelion, yeah. And eventually this arc will round the planet and that is the point at which I will have proper orbit. And based on the fuel situation, it looks like I'm going to be cutting into my booster to get that. I'm sorry, cutting into my next stage. And at this point, we're about to be in orbit. A highly elliptical orbit. In fact, it looks like I'm going to be achieving escape velocity well before I go into any orbit. So at this point, this is like, if I don't do anything about this, this could be a one-way journey. What can I do about it? Whoops. Oh, I ran out of fuel anyway. Which actually looks like I'm dead. This is like, I guess if I was aiming for the moon, this would be cool. Oh, I never put a pilot on board. So you get the idea. So we're going to go back to our space center now. And see what more fun we can have. It's like a mini SLS basically, it looks like to me. Wait, press control. Oh god, what the hell just happened? Why do I have a duplicate part here? I think you just drag them to the left and delete parts. I'm trying to remember how you move the entire thing around. Like, there's like a method of selecting everything or something like that. Because obviously I don't want to just... Okay, that seemed to work. Because what I would want to do is put something else under it, you know? Give it more power. We might put a larger fuel tank on the bottom, perhaps? And if we have any dots, we can sort them by mass. So we need some kind of aerodynamic component. obviously that is a bit OP for this rocket here. I feel like that's too small of an engine. So I'm not really crazy about this design. I just want to kind of wing it and try it out. So now, of course, everything I just put down here should be in the bottom staging area. And apparently the boosters are also part of the first stage. So this should make for an interesting launch. The detachment, the decouplers would come up when I, hit the button to eject the boosters, and then I guess, oh, you know what I forgot? I'm supposed to put something like right here to remove it, like a separator. So it has to be like appropriately sized. Now, I could put the stage separator, let's say right here. So let's try and wing it. Oh, you know what I didn't do? I forgot to put it on a stand. So normally you would have it on a stand. And you can see the issue here. You're really not supposed to have a rocket doing any of this at all. Your boosters are not supposed to be engulfing the bottom stage of the rocket. But it's working. And so once we hit 100, oh, we're already at 100. So we're going to start our, whoa, 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 okay. All right, that's a feature. Is that a feature now? Oh, wait a second, I know what I... gonna do something stupider now. Well, let's see how this rocket launches when it's in its natural layout. How's about that? So we're gonna get rid of this. We're gonna get rid of that. We're gonna just launch it like that. Oh god, no. Now, I didn't even check the staging, so I have no idea. Oops. Let's reload the rocket. I think it's missing some components there because I think there's supposed to be like a core booster stage here, so I don't know if, like, you know, I want to delete the autosave chip. And in fact, I would want to delete this one here from my collection. And if anything, I want to run. There we go. So that's why we were having problems. There wasn't enough lifting capacity in the remaining engine. Of course, these games tend to emit a lot of heat. So we're not even going 100 meters a second yet. Now we're going 100 meters a second. I can tilt it. At about a 45-degree angle. Like I say, this is like the first time I'm playing a clean copy of this game on this computer. It runs pretty admirably. I'm very happy with it. I mean, it's not a hard game to run, but I've run this on my laptops and lesser computers. I had a gaming laptop, or a laptop that had a good GPU in it. And, you know, there's just a point where certain ships will underperform. Granted, this is still a stock rocket, so we're bound to see it run quite well. So in the meantime, I'm just going to go ahead and get a mod installed. Okay, so this craft here has a combination of parts and stuff that required. Yeah, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get rid of what I just copied here. believe that is a satellite payload, I would presume. And this is not normally how you would detach your boosters. Okay, so let's get back to our space center. And you know, you can really get into it, like you can build one hell of a craft, but like I said, I want to do mods, so let's see. We're gonna exit the game, see if the mod manager is installed, and if not, well, I'm not gonna really bother with it right now because it's Saturday, which is basically Sunday for me. I have work tomorrow. This is a game I would play early in my weekend, you know, as part of my leisure time, but now it's like the clock is ticking. See, it says module manager, 0 patches applied. So I don't know if that's because I was supposed to put the patches in a certain directory. I'm gonna want to read the documentation on that. I really don't want to get into the weeds on the mod manager without, you know, really knowing what I'm doing there. Now, what's interesting is I tried playing these Star Wars games on my Steam Deck. Not this one. This one's brand new. But these other Star Wars games, and it came to my attention that, well, you gotta like playing with a keyboard and mouse. So if I have a keyboard and mouse wirelessly linked to my Steam Deck, I could play these old Star Wars games. I could play them right now, but I can't really play them on my Steam Deck, which is a little annoying, you know? What we can do is we could play Dirt Rally and see how the graphics look, because I'm curious to see if Restream can do better in terms of, you know, graphics quality. And it is possible I just need to goose up my bit rate, because right now I'm like 18,000K and I should probably be at like 30, you know, megs a second, or, you know, at a higher bit rate. Even YouTube says the bit rate is higher than recommended, which is like a little bit of a counterproductive suggestion on YouTube's part. Okay, so we have the craft that are preloaded, but how do we do a mod manager? Like, how does that work? So there's like this short video that tells you how to install the module manager, which is like, I did it exactly how the instructions say. Yeah, that looks like a huge pain in the butt.
2 decades ago, the latest owner and the unspoken hitch here that building an interplanetary.
Ooh, here's something fun we can watch while I try to figure out what I'm doing here. So this video is titled Big Mistake. Let's see if it's really a big mistake on the Starship or if this is just a dumb video, because sometimes, you know, haters are gonna be haters.
2 decades ago, the latest owner and CEO of Twitter, Elon Musk, founded SpaceX, a rocket company to someday send people to Mars. And he has said for years that he will make space travel as easy as hopping on a plane. As he stood in front of a gleaming steel spaceship, it was tempting to start believing it. It's really going to be pretty epic to see that thing take off and come back, Musk said. But that's the hypnotic nature of such showcases. The flashiness of the affair, the giddy confidence of the host. These can almost elide the unspoken hitch here that building an interplanetary spaceship is really, really difficult. Could Starship be a big mistake? Let's see what famous scientists and engineers have said about that very subject. Starship, which is being built at a Texas site dubbed Star Base, consists of a giant spaceship on top of a large booster known as Super Heavy. Both can land back on Earth so they can be reused, reducing cost. The entire vehicle is capable of lifting 100 metric tons or 220,000 pounds of cargo and people into space on a regular low-cost mission. The volume of usable space within Starship is a whopping 1,000 cubic meters. That's big enough to fit in the entire Eiffel Tower disassembled. For most, this massive size is admirable. However, the Mars Society president and aerospace engineer Dr. Robert Zurban said that a problem with Starship is that because it's so massive, it takes a great deal of facilities to be able to refuel it. So I anticipate that the few Starships that first land on Mars will stay on Mars. To begin the Mars colonization effort, the rocket company's mission would be to deliver a massive amount of cargo, including vital equipment to Mars, and possibly robots with capability to set everything up before the first human arrives. Part of the first deliveries to Mars could include supplies like power generators, large batteries, and solar panels that would aid to build and power a propellant plant to refuel Starship, so it could eventually come back to Earth. Zurban pointed out that would take 6 to 10 football fields of solar panels, and that's just enough to refuel Starship within a 500-day stay on Mars. Starship is capable of carrying 100 passengers plus 100 tons of cargo. Zurban believes the first missions will not transport 100 passengers, that a crew of about 20 astronauts to set everything up is safer to prepare for future arrivals of over 50 people. Zurban says building a mini version of Starship to send to Mars has a better advantage to sending it and bringing it back to Earth. It would have a tremendous advantage for an exploration architecture because it wouldn't need a big base in order to refuel and come back. He, Musk, was adverse to that. He feels that developing one thing is much better than developing two things. But Zurban believes SpaceX is capable of building both versions of the Starship, a full-scale and a mini, especially seeing how quickly they develop things. Besides, he explained that landing a Starship on Mars will have some issues. Zurban believes landing a Starship on the Moon will not work because it will have a gigantic plume upon landing and it would blow a crater, he says. It wouldn't land, it will dig a crater and fall over, explaining that both the Moon and Mars need to have landing pads built beforehand to land a massive vehicle such as Starship, so they can take the plume of the Starship. On Mars is a bit of a less problem, but it's still a major problem. If that can't be resolved, then he may be forced to go to the mini Starship route. Zurban further stated, in order to land a Starship on the Moon, someone has to go there first and build a landing pad, so it's not blowing debris all over the place and building a crater to fall into. That's not good architecture. It just isn't. Zurban believes there's also other issues with the Starship architecture. For instance, the Starship is a stainless steel hull and he can do the entry from Earth orbit from that because it's a low ballistic coefficient, which reduces the heat load. So he can do this with a steel ship without heat-resistant tiles or anything of this sort. But coming back from Mars is a much higher heat load than coming back from LEO, so he has to make specialized starships that are reinforced thermal protection. Adding that Earth-to-Earth version of starships would work. Surface-to-surface transportation is great. Besides, the famous Professor Brian Cox also doubts Starship abilities. Musk said manned missions would happen by 2029 on Starship, but Cox doesn't see that as plausible. SpaceX is a remarkable company. They did do something astonishing, which is transforming the economics of spaceflight. You never know with them. They're really good engineers, but my guess is Musk's prediction is optimistic. Professor Cox said he'd also not go to Mars tomorrow, even if SpaceX technology existed. I'd be surprised to see anyone there before the 2040s at the earliest, although I'd love to be wrong, he said. I think it's even more difficult than going to the moon was in the 60s. Apollo was at the edge of our capabilities in the 60s. It was right at the edge of available technology, and I think Mars is perhaps even slightly beyond that at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if we've started sending the infrastructure within the next 10 years. Well, these doubts are completely understandable as Starship isn't real yet. All eyes will be on the first orbital launch test, expected sometime in the coming months. Even if it is a success, no one knows whether SpaceX will be able to achieve its vision of launching the rockets daily and reusing them many times. Also unsettled is whether a market will materialize for a rocket that could put so much into orbit. Gladly, while some scientists are worried about Starship, the majority are in favor. Even world-renowned physicist Dr. Mikio Kaku agrees with Musk's opinion. As an insurance policy, we have to make sure that humans become a two-planet species. And now, of course, Elon Musk has revived this vision by talking about a multi-planet species. Even Neil deGrasse Tyson, who calls himself one of SpaceX's biggest critics, also believes that Musk's SpaceX Starship orbit project has more merit and has a higher chance of going beyond orbital flight. The concept of SpaceX is we want to send people to places. It's an effort to push that limit, the frontier of exploring space. Starship could fly bigger and heavier instruments more often and much more cheaply if SpaceX's projections of $10 per kilogram cargo launch cost are to be believed. On Mars, they could deploy rovers not as one-offs, but in herds. Space telescopes could grow, and fleets of satellites in low Earth orbit could become commonplace. Astronomy, planetary science, and Earth observation could all boldly go better than they ever have before. And that just about wraps it up for today's episode. What do you think about Starship? Can we become multi-humanity? Don't forget, share your ideas in the comments section because your support, it motivates us to create more quality video. And for that, we thank you so much and hope to see you next time.
Okay, so we downloaded a few really cool spacecraft, and only one of them requires some mods. So I might want to wait to download that file, but I'll take the progress wherever I can get it. So take our most recent download.
Was stuck, buried under the ground. We had to dig it.
Alrighty. Now, I'm pretty sure whatever I just downloaded is not going to be in this list until I reload the game. And even then, I'm worried it's still not going to show up. I may have to go back to that directory. Okay, so I may have to exit the game, but we're gonna see if it detects my new rocket now that I've put it in the right folder. We're gonna exit the game, we're gonna reopen the game, and then we're gonna play a different game if we get bored of this or if it doesn't load my craft. What am I doing wrong? I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong here, but I'm really not trying to put the spacecraft into the actual directory. I'm really trying not to do that, you know? So I have my craft here. I'm really trying to avoid this, but you know what? We could put it in here, so we'll put it in there. I can always delete those craft. I just don't want to mix them up with the stock spacecraft. Normally, a craft might come with these other items. In fact, wait a second. I think I'm in the wrong folder. Well, that's one of the craft I just downloaded. So it still says I only have 30 rockets, but you can see the downloaded ones are the ones that I don't have a thumbnail image attached to. So my only issue is I'm gonna have to keep track of everything I just downloaded, you know? So I'm thinking what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep everything in this folder. I'm gonna copy them again, and then I can sort of backtrack later on if I need to delete something. See, this is an example of a craft that I don't have all of the parts, so I'd have to download those missing parts. On the other hand, this one here is a complete stock craft. Really want to download the new rocket, the the new Artemis. Space Shuttle is a very sloppy launch system in this game, but the idea is to turn on the automatic gimbal, and these engines are able to help keep it on track. It's going to be a terrible orbital declination. This is a disaster. You don't normally fly the shuttle like this at all. Now that's interesting, the frame rate is kind of low down here. I don't know if that's a feature. I mean, everything else is buttery smooth, so I guess not an issue. Yeah, at this point, I'm basically on a... I'm surprised I even have any kind of elliptical ballistic trajectory here. It's gonna be a disaster. So basically, this fuel tank has... Where? Oh, there we go. That's almost at the end of the line here. Oh my god, this is a disaster. So now, how do you land a space shuttle? And what is this big white panel on the side here? Well, if we want to land a space shuttle... Oh, right. we're gonna have to activate our RCS thrusters. Oh god, what did I just do? I just did something bad. I just ejected something. I don't even know what I might have deployed a parachute. Oh. I didn't open my cargo bay. I have a rocket engine burning in my cargo bay right now. I don't think there's any fuel for the thing up here. So essentially, on any space shuttle launch, it jettisons these solid rocket boosters, and then we run on the fuel tank. So an interesting fact about the American Space Shuttle is that these three engines are basically dead weight for the duration of the mission. Once they've expended the fuel tank, those boosters are no longer of any use. Now, we do have little engines up here. These are the OMS pods, the Orbital Maneuvering System engines and what have you. It runs on peroxide, basically. So when we finally run out of fuel here, we'll get rid of the fuel tank. And the only reason it carries dead weight is because the intention behind the space shuttle was that you could, land the entire orbiter and reuse the engines for the next mission. So, I mean, ideally, you would have a system where you can maybe eject the engines, recover them, and that would allow you to bring a larger payload into orbit, perhaps. And that's actually the direction the Russians would have gone in if they didn't, you know, Soviet Union didn't collapse. Which was, you know, inevitability. Now, I don't even know where the fuel is coming from at this point. Because I don't have fuel here. We're letting the OMS, we're letting the thrusters kind of correct the, So interestingly, the orbital maneuvering pods are out of fuel, so I don't even know where they get their fuel from anymore. And so we're going to actually land a space shuttle using an improper method. We're going to use the remaining fuel to assist in a deorbit burn. In fact, we don't even need to use the fuel to deorbit the rocket, because you can see right here, we're already in a situation where, oh wait, nope, we need to try to deorbit. Wow, that is sketchy. Hey, what's up, Brandon, Looney Tunes fan 2000? It's good to see you today. So I think what we're gonna do is, this rocket is already on a bad trajectory. It's gonna go way out, and it's not coming back. Oh wait, actually, is it coming back? No, it's not coming back. This rocket is going way out there. So if I want to land my rocket, I need to slow down. But the problem is that I'll try another rocket. Okay, now it's counting the correct amount of craft. There's something terribly wrong with this rocket.
I just asked Elon, I said, why is the press more concerned about the journalist's
These are, I think this is the non-existent. Yeah, I didn't really keep track of my changes on part of that, so we're just gonna once again wing it, blow it up, I guess, right? Blow up the rocket. That didn't last long, did it? Like, I didn't even hit a button, that thing just started blowing up. Okay, so why did that happen? Now, this is a pretty cool game. It's called Curse Crackers, and I picked it up at, well, I learned about it at Retropalooza when I visited, Arlington, Texas in late October. So I see these guys playing this old-looking game, and I, thought it looked cool, so I checked it out, spoke to the developers. They told me about the game, they told me a little bit about it, and were very nice about it. They were really cool. Then I took a picture, and yeah, so darn it, I'm gonna re-record what I just said because I want to make a video right now. So I'm gonna start my recording now. I went to Retropalooza in late October and learned about this game while at the convention center. It's called Curse Crackers, and it basically looks like an old school side-scrolling platforming game. So we're gonna go ahead and launch it. I don't know how it's gonna look on this monitor, but we will toggle into whatever mode looks good. I don't know if this game really lends itself to a ultra wide screen layout, we could try it out. Okay, there we go. It's running in a semi-windowed mode right now. I might have to do some tweaking to the settings somewhere here. So we got different. Oh wait, I gotta do it like this. So you can see here, you can run, you change the resolution, play it in windowed mode. In fact, I gotta say, it really moves quite smoothly. Obviously, I wouldn't play it at 4K resolution. Wait. 2560 by 1440 is a weird mode because my monitor is, my monitor is rated for, 1920. Well, my monitor is 1080p, so it'd be 2560 by 1080, and it goes straight to 4K resolution. So that's a little weird, but not a big deal. So what we would do is we would operate the game probably in a full screen mode, and that would just fill up my screen resolution. And I think what we're going to do is we're going to really quickly goose up the volume for the game itself. And I thought I started playing this game already, so I don't know if cloud saves are not working or if I didn't save my game correctly, because I was playing it on my Steam Deck, but I would obviously want this to, synchronize with my Steam Deck. I would want to be able to alternate between both devices. Beyond that, well, I got to get out of this here because I've already been here. I've done all of this. I'm not hearing the music right now. Good. We're turning on VSync. Sometimes you don't need VSync, but I'm finding that when you're walking around really quickly, you get some tearing on this machine. So we'll play it with that. So let's see here if it looks good on the center. Okay, good. That fills up my screen. That looks good. And, we're going to say no to the tutorial because I've already played. I could probably goose up the volume a little bit. I'm boosting up the volume for the benefit of people watching this stream right now. So I can hear the game quite well. We'll go this way. And, you know, I'm playing on a directional pad on the 360 controller. I think you can go to like some of these like Okay, so I've already seen this, but I'll watch it again. Now, I don't know how to get into this area here, unless there's some kind of trick to it. And also, when you throw your bouncy friend around, they can go a long way before coming back. It's sort of like a boomerang that can go pretty far. It was so real when you fall down a pit. I did it already, but like I said, I lost my save point. Well, it looks like I earned this treasure anyway. I don't know if there's any benefit to doing that. I think we're just gonna call it a day on that, and oh, cool! I really should make a dedicated shout-out video for you, Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. I like to do it a little detailed, but probably keep it simple anyway, right? You know, you gotta get it out. Hey, what's up, Moira Kitty? It's good to see you. So this is a game called Curse Crackers. Have the Steam page for it, right? That's not Steam, that's and I discovered this game, well, not discovered, I learned about it when I was at Retropalooza in Arlington, Texas. It can be bought on Steam. It's like really cheap. I think it's like $10 or $15, if that. And it's just a good, I think it's a good all-around, you know, simple side scroller, you know, I mean, no BS, it's just a game. I can live with that. And you have this little punching bag that you use. But yeah, I gotta do a proper shout out video. Did I already play this area? I've been here already. I didn't even finish getting all of the coins. But yeah, so basically that's Curse Crackers in a nutshell. You can pick up some items. I think you press the B button to utilize items. I have like one item right now, I believe, that I haven't used yet. I've used the item once so far during the tutorial or training. You hold down your right trigger to walk quickly. And these bouncy balls, you can run right through them and it'll allow you to bounce. And apparently I just found a high wire or something like that. Oh shit. Apparently that's not safe to hang out around. Finally, I've been dying to get my hands on a rose. Oh, there's a shield. What the fuck was that? Okay, I might have hit a button by accident. You can't go in the circus tent, so, you know, that opening don't do anything. I lost my bouncy guy. Oh, fudge. Grr. Okay, good. I've saved my position on a checkpoint. At this point, I'd want to learn how to get into here, you know? How do you get into this area here? Oh shit, I didn't mean to use an item. Okay, well, I think my game is saved. So I'm just gonna exit while I've, used a checkpoint already. And I'm gonna look if there's a save button. Okay, so it looks like I didn't lose my progress. I have a file here, but I don't know if it's automatically syncing. So yeah, that's Curse Crackers, and that's the gist of it. So if you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. And for now, we shall end transmission.
This is time for my next video. This is for DJ Roto G. Great live streams, great content support and stuff like that. And he mentioned me. He actually mentioned me in one of his videos a few weeks ago. I think it's this one.
Alrighty, in this video, I'd like to give a shout out to Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000 is a YouTube channel. This is his channel right over here. I'll leave a link below. You can search for his name by typing Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000 into the search bar or by clicking the link below. He currently has 957 subscribers. He's well on the way to getting 1,000. And if you subscribe, you will help him go and get one step. Alrighty, in this video, I'd like to give a shout out to Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000 is a content creator who has a YouTube channel that is focused on Looney Tunes fan content. Of course, it's in the name. And if we look over here, you could literally type his name into the search bar in its entirety and it'll definitely come up. I'll also leave a link below so that you can easily navigate to his site. And, I'd recommend considering subscribing. He's on the road to 1,000 and I'm sure there will be some kind of big celebration at 1,000. So if you don't want to miss the, the festival or the festivities, I would say subscribe because I'm kind of curious to see what happens when he gets to 1,000. If we throw a party or something like that. But in any case, most of his content is Looney Tunes. He's got videos on the Grinch. He's got pretty much like, a lot of stuff is just like popping in a VHS tape, making some observations about it. In this one, he's going through the Simpsons DVD box set. And some of the interesting content I was seeing in the past few weeks that I really liked a lot was when he was finding Easter eggs on the DVD box sets for the Simpsons. And if I could just find an example or two here, because I saw a couple of really cool ones that I liked. Basically, back in the day when you had a DVD, you can navigate the menu a certain way. You'd get these menus, there would be videos in the menu, and usually they would do some clever stuff. Throw some animation in there or something like that. And the whole menu is basically you go and navigate, play the movie. But if you wanted to see deleted scenes or special features, there will be another menu for that kind of content. And in the case of a DVD like the Simpsons DVD box set, we have hidden gems or hidden Easter eggs, as I like to call them. And essentially what you do is, I'll show you. Now you open up your DVD, you wait for it to load, and then you get to the menu. The menu is going to show an animation, sort of like what we see here. In this case, it's like a roulette wheel where it's swapping the heads around, I guess, which is kind of funny because, you got... Yep, there's Krabappel's head on... Yep, you get the idea. So that's like a bit of a bizarre one right there, but this is typical of a Simpsons DVD. And then you got the actual menu. So you got your little roulette, then you got your menu items. And then somewhere in here, I almost certainly guaranteed as a hidden gem. And yep, there it is. Okay, so on a DVD, when you're navigating to the settings portion of the menu, you could, tell it if you want to turn on subtitles, if you want to change the language of the audio track. And in this case, where you're picking the language, if you press the right arrow key on the remote control, or, whatever button it takes, you're able to navigate and select this. So basically, by dragging it over there, it will say by Matt Groening and Al Jean. And sometimes you can even click on it to see some hidden item. There it is, okay.
What chewing on is highlighted.
There it is, alright, good. So he selected it, highlighted it. So, case and point.
So what's Hobo's chewing on is highlighted.
237. Alrighty, in this video I'd like to give a shout out to Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. Brandon is a content creator who has a YouTube channel by the name Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. You can easily find him by literally typing in his name into the search bar, or by clicking the link below, or I'll try to put a link up here on my screen. Am I still streaming, by the way? Oh yeah, I'm still streaming. So yeah, I'm recording a separate video. In fact, I'm gonna end my stream right now. So stay tuned. Anybody who's watching the tail end of this stream, bear in mind that there will be a separate video uploaded in which I do a shout out for Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000. So I'm gonna end this stream right now and upload the shout out video separately. And with that, I thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. If you have any questions, comments, or ideas, please leave a comment. And for now, we shall end transmission.